Have you ever booked a flight and just kind of stared at the itinerary? You bought one ticket from one website, but your trip involves flying on three totally different airlines. It just works. Well, underneath that smooth experience is this incredible whirlwind of data. So let's pull back the curtain on this hidden world of airline cooperation.
So that's the big question, right? You click book, and behind the scenes, systems from companies that are literally competitors start talking to each other. They're coordinating your seats, your connections, your baggage. How is this complex digital dance even possible? Well, the whole story starts with a concept called interlining. You can think of it as the original agreement, the foundational pact that makes global air travel possible. It's the first and most important digital handshake between airlines.
At its most basic, interlining is a business agreement that lets one airline sell you a single ticket that covers a journey on other airlines too. Without this, you'd be booking separate tickets for every single leg of your trip. Imagine having to recheck your bags every time you changed planes. It would be a total nightmare for us travelers, and honestly, a huge missed opportunity for the airlines.
So what this really boils down to is trust. Interlining is basically the trust fall of the airline industry. It means Airline A has to trust that Airline B is going to honor the ticket they sold, that they'll take your bags and get you to your next flight without a hitch. It is the absolute base layer of all this cooperation.
Now, this handshake isn't just a pinky promise. It's powered by a massive, constant exchange of information. For it to work, airlines have to share your passenger name record, your PNR, your e-ticket info, and of course, real-time updates on your bags and your flight status. All of this data has to be shared instantly and perfectly, because if even one little piece of it fails to sync up, your whole connection could be at risk.
Okay, so that's the first level. Now let's go a little deeper. If interlining is the handshake, then code sharing is a much closer partnership, and it all came from a simple business problem. How can an airline sell tickets to way more places around the world without actually having to buy new planes and fly new routes?
This is the magic of a code share. You might book a ticket that says you're on, say, Airline A, Flight 123. But when you show up at the gate, the plane, the gate agents, the crew, they all belong to Airline B. It's one single physical flight, but it's being sold under a bunch of different flight numbers by partner airlines. It lets them offer a seamless trip to a city they don't even fly to themselves.
So let's just quickly break down the difference, because it can be a little tricky. With interlining, airlines are selling tickets on other airlines' separate flights. With a code share, multiple airlines are putting their own flight number on a single flight that's only operated by one of them. It's a subtle difference, but it's a huge deal in how they make their networks feel so much bigger than they actually are.
So, you have all these different systems, built by different companies, probably in different decades, with different tech. How in the world do they manage this constant, super complex conversation? Well, it all comes down to speaking the same language.
And this, right here, is the absolute heart of the matter. Just imagine trying to coordinate a global operation where every single partner spoke a different language and you had no translator. It would be pure chaos. Well, airlines figured this out decades ago by agreeing on standardized ways to format their data and send messages.
And this universal language has evolved. Way back in the 80s, the standard was something called EDI fact. It was pretty rigid, kind of clunky, but it was reliable for basic stuff. Then in the 2000s, with the rise of the internet, things shifted to more flexible XML-based languages. And today, the whole industry is moving towards something called NDC, or New Distribution Capability. This new standard lets them share much richer info, which opens the door for things like personalized offers and add-ons no matter where you book your ticket.
Okay, let's bring it all home. Let's follow the secret digital journey your ticket and your info take from the moment you check in for one of these multi-airline trips.
The second you scan your boarding pass with that first airline, boom, a chain reaction kicks off. Your PNR and ticket data get zapped over to Airline B, which instantly locks in your seat on their flight. At the exact same time, your baggage info is sent ahead to Airline C for that final transfer, making sure your suitcase gets to the right place. Well, assuming every single bit of data transferred perfectly, of course.
I just love this quote because it perfectly captures what's going on. These aren't just business deals. They are feats of database diplomacy. It's about getting all these different, complicated systems to connect, to sync the records perfectly, and to create an experience that, for you, the passenger, just feels like one single smooth journey. And that really brings us to the big question for the future. As airlines want to offer more customized travel, like special meals or unique baggage deals or tailored entertainment, that need for even deeper and more secure data sharing is just going to grow. So what does the next generation of this database diplomacy look like? How do you build an even more connected journey while also dealing with the huge challenges of data privacy and cybersecurity? It's a fascinating problem to think about.